I said sleepily. Yeah, Willie. A hoe ain't worth a thimble of poo-poo. Willie, needing a partner to play the con, had given me a 6 weeks crash course in how to stop and qualify. Any money to play for? Ever been flim-flammed before? A mark. Put him on the send. He goes to get his money. And how to rip him off with crossfire dialogue between us. I sure needed to play Willie's game, at least until I got the bread to lay down on a far-out ride, maybe a vintage Rolls, fur-trimmed, BR, flash cash, and threads to dazzle and lure whores to within stealing or turn-out copping range. A match flared in a cell across the way, illuminating two broads 69ing while a third broad, wearing a crude dildo fashioned from a toilet brush, humped dog fashion behind one. An excited chump on the tier above us apparently was bearing his stiff problem to the trio. He screamed through the open windows into the unusually warm January night. "You long cunt bitches, ganner this big black pretty I'm holding and eat your freakish hearts out." A shrill voice broad lopped off his fake balls. "Dave Jones, this is Cora Brown, you old snaggle-tooth fag. You know I know that thing you flashing wasn't nothing in them streets but a handle for dudes to flip you over with." I thought about some of the harrowing disadvantages in playing con. A felony bust if caught. A morgue slab if a cutthroat mark woke up before he was blowed off. And the most unpleasant of all was the epidemic scuttlebutt that grifters often got bone-tired and footsore searching for a qualifiable mark. Willie validated his moniker and soft-shoed onto my wavelength again. He crooned, "Slim, I got a lot of confidence in you. I'm gonna angle my ass off as soon as I get in the wind this morning, scoring for transportation and other knit shit we gonna need. How's it sound, pal of mine?" I barely heard him because I was trying to pluck out from the den across the way a line on a Cafe au lait fox. She was fingering into the crimson slash in her jet brush to drool the voyeur chumps upstairs. She was boasting how she'd cut her old man loose during visiting hours that very day. I said, "It sounds sweet, Willie, and sweeter is when we start taking off those big stings." As I fell asleep, I heard young Joker hollering he was a hell of a pimp. The ball lopper across the way shrilled, "Joe Thomas, bullshit everybody but Cora Brown. I heard you ate everything except the nails and little bit's shoes all night last summer. At the time, she told me she was holding enough bread to burn up a herd of wet cattle. She gave you a buck for grits and greens. No playing, chump. Dummy up." The icy morning of my release, my teeth chattered in the sleazy thin Benny belonging to some sleight-of-hand bastard in property. He had switched me out of my stable-trimmed leather whore catcher. I was 100 yards down California Avenue when the sudden blast of a horn behind me almost tinkled me. I got in the snow-dappled heap. Willie grinned and passed me a half-full, half-pint of gin. He said, "Kill it." Then he looked me up and down. A moment later he said, "We gotta go and score for decent bennies and bread to make up a playing boodle." He briefed me how on the way to a medium-sized department store on State Street. We went in through different entrances. I dug Willie in position to score. My arm swept perfume bottles off a counter with a great clatter as I collapsed to the stone floor. I performed an attention-grabbing, flop-tongued, epileptic seizure that sucked menswear empty of personnel. Some compassionate soul rammed a metal glasses case into my mouth. I peeked through the forest of legs at Willie. He had liberated 2 bennies off hangers and was nonchalantly till-tapping, rifling a cash register. Menswear bread. He blurred through a side door. I recovered, mouthing Baroque gratitude. I walked my eyes heavenward. I profusely thanked J.C. and the mob surrounding me, as per Willie's instructions, as I oozed away to the sidewalk. Our bennies were good fits, but the scratch from the toe was too thin to make up a viable boodle. On Clark Street, Willie
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.